Unless they find application in your life, lofty abstractions are meaningless. POTB. In past videos, I explored how the concept of the four Qabalistic worlds relates to creativity beyond art. This time, I'll dive deeper into principles applicable to anything. For those new to my work, I go by the name of POTB. I am a creator focusing on human potential and creativity. Recently, I also began incorporating discussions of my tools, so stick around if that sounds interesting, and if it doesn't, don't. Qabalistic Worlds. Mapping the human psyche, the Tree of 5 has several divisions, one of which is the four Qabalistic worlds. The highest Atziluth represents the life force skill, the pure urge to live and express. The second Briah is creative ideas or creative ideation. Third is formation, organization, and finding ways to turn ideas into action, Yetzirah. And the fourth is Assiah, the physical actions and limitations. Atziluth. Also called the causal world, Atziluth holds the right to create or initiate any change, and this can be an inspiration or a need to solve problems and even teach others. One Maiwuduket exemplifies needing to build chairs so you, or quote-unquote the divine, can sit and relax. Donald Michael Craig a stand for spiritual practices, which would be unnecessary for those using my manuals. For creators, Atziluth can spark solving problems and documenting your journey so others can benefit from it. Everyone can teach something. If you're obese, get jacked and make content on that. And if you struggled with addictions, teach your former self how to overcome them. Often people have too many whys, which becomes an issue if you struggle to prioritize. Luckily, to the rescue come things like mindfulness meditation, mental decluttering, and journaling. Mindfulness is the start of any magical practice. It can help identify the actual whys needing your attention first. It can also be practiced after a quote-unquote mystical working to increase clarity through answers and information. Mystical versus practical. Now, for those not knowing, mystical is attributed to the Sephiroth and the Briatic/watery tree. Think of reception and the tarot cups. Conversely, practical is all about external results, projection, the paths, the fiery tree, and the wands. Now, let's proceed. Mental decluttering can be part of a journaling practice. Besides enabling you to see your causes or whys through validity, this also allows you to create a vision and anti-vision. The first depicts your optimal situation, the second is to avoid by all means. Reflecting on them regularly makes the right whys apparent as you basically navigate the principle of Yetzirah, the sacrificial priestess, prioritizing and sacrificing. Briah. Once identified, your why enables a chain of processes down to the physical, and the first of those is idea generation in Briah. It includes possibilities and potentialities to solve your problem and achieve results. Now, creatives seldom need assistance in Atziluth and Briah. What they often struggle with is sacrificing or postponing certain ideas in favor of others and basically saying no. So, besides mindfulness and journaling, Viktor Frankl's insights find utility here. Man constantly makes his choice concerning the mass of his present potentialities. Which of these will be condemned to non-being and which will be actualized? Which choice will be made an actuality once and forever, an immortal footprint in the sense of time? At any moment, man must decide for better or for worse what will be the monument of his existence. Frankl advocates living intentionally to build a collection of actualized realities preserved in the past. Remembering that and adopting such a mindset brings clarity to what you should be doing now. Let me know if you agree. Yetzirah. Sacrificing ideas might feel restrictive as it narrows focus, but also opens us to the realm of formation, Yetzirah. That is figuring out ways to turn ideas into results-producing actions. Called the astral, Yetzirah is the realm of magic, and basically the blueprint for everything happening in the physical. And this can be plans and goals, and organization like habits, systems, routines, etc. Depending on who you ask, Yetzirah includes Sephiroth, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. Yesod represents the personal subconscious, the structure behind the physical reality. It is often depicted as a muscular man holding the world. Netzach is emotion and passion, and Hod is intellectual imagination. Since they require reason and logic, the mentioned five would be formulated by Hod. Yet, to do that properly, Hod must be fueled by Netzach, which is also expressed in Yesod. So while passion may not be enough, being passionate about your goals, systems, and discipline is essential. Magic usually follows the path of least resistance. There's a peculiar way for you to actualize ideas most readily, and while watching tutorials might help, be open to finding those first. Personal experience. For a big part of my producer journey, I wanted to do things only by the book. Yet, other than some basic principles, I eventually abandoned this mentality, and who inspired me were three people. First and foremost, the great Alan the Alchemist. Being one of the most legendary producers, the Alchemist explains he achieves results like side chaining through his own techniques, which he sometimes names differently. And for those not knowing, side chaining lowers certain sounds at a specific moment, like a drum kick hitting. The second is Ming from Ming and FS. It is accepted that mixing should never happen before completing a track. As a producer and engineer, Ming defines such dogmas, often doing both simultaneously. Being the most recent, third comes Rick Rubin, who teaches that the only rule to follow is to make the art you want to hear, see and experience. And apparently that applies to content, which is kind of what I do. Let me know about you. Since we all have access to unlimited ideas, it is not uncommon for several people to get the same. When interviewed by Rubin, the author Briah reveals, "It's like little bells that ring. Wife is asking for volunteers. Can someone write this? Can someone take care of this? Raise your hand." But the bells that you can hear tend to be the ones that you're uniquely equipped to respond to. You have the systems, the vessel, the experience that can do it in a very specific way. Think of your causes and ideas as bells calling for action. Discover your unique way to bring them to life. You have that since you hear them, and since you do, something seeks out expression particularly through you. Share your thoughts. Assiah. If the process has been smooth so far, we can start taking action and cause changes in the physical. However, Assiah is where people struggle the most. While the higher worlds are ethereal, Assiah is dense with heavy energies and limitations. It is basically Malkut, the throne of Bina, which is Saturn, the 32nd path, the universe card, and the 4 elements. Saturn rules the inertia and entropy of the universe. Optimizing the process in the upper realms is one thing. Making the quote-unquote divine law prevail in the kingdom of the shades, which is the physical, completely different, as it often demands going against that entropy. Since our bodies and brains play a massive role, it makes sense that they collaborate and not get in the way. Enable yours to transform the light into action rather than being a victim of haphazard and chaotic events. Without that, nothing really happens. And to me, several lifestyle changes proved indispensable. Eliminating drug, alcohol and vaping addictions/dependencies. Suppressing appetite, adopting the 1 meal a day plan, and burning stored fat as fuel 90% of the time. Cycling through brain boosting diets, and monitoring my information diet while doing not necessarily internet but social media fasts. For creatives, such optimization includes their tools. Ensure they facilitate your work, letting you express whatever you want to express while contributing to peak creativity and productivity. More on that is in my video on the studio display. Related to both Yetzirah and Assiah, taking pre-planned action consistently combats the randomness aligning you with Jupiter, the element of work, as you basically create yours. But that's just my opinion. Let me know if you agree, check the links in the description, and thank you for your time.